So let's do pranayama today. I mean, pranayama is something that I find so powerful in yoga, and I don't practice it often enough, I don't think. So let's do this today just to bring some balance to our breath. So using your thumb and ring finger on either side of your nostril, and then the peace fingers to the center of the brow. And we'll close our eyes just for a brief moment here before we start to do our alternate nostril breath. And just take a moment to really ground and anchor yourself into your own body. And at the heart of our yoga practice is just this ability to come into a state of balance, a state of neutrality. So everything becomes, in a way, less effortful, but also in that just finding that there is maybe a surrender so that we're not putting too much effort, but at the same time, we're allowing for any sensation that arises to just be what it is. So a deep breath in to begin. A cleansing exhale. And then thumb to your right nostril. Let's inhale through the left side. At the top, switch and exhale through the right. Inhale through the same side, right side breathes in. Switching at the top and exhale through the left. Inhale again, left side. Switch and exhale through the right. Inhale, right side. And exhale through the left. Inhale, left side. And exhale, right side. Inhale, right side. And exhale, left side. Inhale, left side. Exhale, right side. And then this time, as you inhale through the right side, we'll hold the breath at the top. So breathing deeply. Holding on fullness, seal both nostrils. Pause. And then exhale, left side. Inhale, left side. We'll hold again at the top. Holding on fullness, nice full lungs, relax shoulders, relax face. And then exhale out the right side. Inhale, right side. Take your time, fill up completely. Holding at the top. Exhale, left side, emptying out. And then inhale again, left side. Last breath retention. Let's take a deep breath. Hold. And then exhale, right side. And then release your hand. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out through both nostrils. And just notice The Nadi Shodhana, this is the balancing breath, right and left sides of the body, right and left hemispheres of the brain. Nice one to start with, also nice one to end with. Traditionally, pranayama was actually done at the end of the yoga practice, which I always think is a great time for it as well, right before the meditation. So we'll come onto all fours. Let's just do a little warm up here for the spine. So hands spread nice and wide, back toes curled. Bow your head gently, press into your palms, and let's take a couple of deep breaths into the back heart. Take your left ear to left shoulder, right ear to right shoulder, move your ribs from side to side, and let's keep that nice protraction of the shoulders as you root down, waking up the back heart. And releasing the weight of the head. So if you do hold tension through the back of the neck, let's just really let it go here. So can you let the weight of the head be heavy and just gently swing it from side to side. And when you're ready, we'll inhale back to center and then exhale, bring the belly in toward the spine, look up toward the sky. We'll do a few like this, pushing the palms into the ground. Inhale to the back heart. And then exhale, lengthen, pull the belly in. Couple more like this. As you warm up the spine, just notice if there's tension, tightness, pain in any part of the body. So working to just very gently move into these full motions of the spine. Okay, we're going to work into a lunge pose right away today. So just walk your hands to the left side of your mat, both hands together, and then take your right foot out to the right side and heel toe, bring it up into a lunge pose. Now we're going to pivot the back foot. So the back foot comes behind the front foot. So left foot internally behind the right foot, and then we'll walk the hands slightly to the left, and we're going to stretch. Now, as you bring your fingertips onto the mat, see if you can bow your head for this one. We're going to sink the hips back and down, right sitting bone scoops down and under. Pull your belly in very gently as you breathe deeply here. Now, if you're feeling this quite acutely through the hips and pelvis, just keep the breath moving to where you need it. If you want to do a little more, we're going to pull that back knee toward the front foot. So you feel this little engagement of the back knee hugging toward the front foot. And just notice what that does for this pose, right? We're going to keep pulling the foot toward the back knee, widening the inner thighs and rooting through the right sitting bone. Bow your head gently. This is humble warrior. I love this feeling of just allowing the body weight to do the work. If your belly is glued to the right thigh, just work to, if you can, pull the belly away from your right thigh, maybe even walking your hands a little to the left or a little to the right, depending what you need from this stretch. It's a deep one, so let's take a deep breath in. Exhale, very gently walk your hands back to center, leaving the legs as they are, and we're going to come up with the right elbow to the right knee. Okay, so just as you anchor here, we're going to push into the right elbow and start to open up this left side. Left arm comes to the sky. Now, even more challenge here is to pull this back knee toward the front foot. So it's the same action. Right hip tucks down and under as the left hip widens off to the left side. And I use this right elbow to support a little opening and a stretch through the left side, lifting chin, taking a nice full and complete breath in. And then very gently and slowly release. And we'll come down again, taking the left foot behind the left knee, and then heel toe your right foot back into its place. Place your knees together. And even though the knees are placed close together, we're going to press them wide. So you feel that there's this kind of creating a little engagement through the outer hips. And then let's just take the hips from side to side. You might kind of sway a little bit. If it feels accessible to you, you can even do full circles. Oh, I like these ones because it's hard to keep the knees pressing apart in these ones, but if you can, you'll feel all the benefit through the outer hips. widening through the midline, really supports that spaciousness in the central channel that we really need to cultivate in order to find this balance between the right and left with bilateral symmetry. Okay, let's do the other side. So hands towards the right side of the mat. Left foot comes wide to the left side, heel toe, heel toe. I like this way into my lunges because, you know, it's a little more accessible. If you have trouble stepping forward, you can kind of just figure out a way to kind of inchworm your way into this one. We're going to turn the pivot, the back foot in a little bit. So what that does is it externally rotates the right hip. And then keeping your knee over your ankle, walk your hands about 45 degrees. Humble warrior, stretching the hips back and wide, left hip scoops under. Deep breaths into the hips and pelvis. Right knee hugs in towards left ankle. So the foot and knee hug toward each other, and that's going to widen the pelvis. Allow space for the left sitting bone to scoop down. And you know, if you're really, really working to scoop that left hip under, you might even feel this stretching in your mid back, in your low back, which is where we'd really like to have it. Stretching long. Deep, strong breath here, you guys. Widening the inner thighs, hugging the knee toward the front foot. Last breath. Make it your deepest breath today. These hip openers really work. So, you know, I don't like wasting time on movements that don't really give me any benefit. I'm a bit practical that way. Okay, left elbow to left knee. So when you come up into this one, right arm opens. It's the same action. Okay, so back knee hugs to front ankle. And the sitting bones widen back, left hip scooping under. And right side widening and opening. Can you find the midline in this pose? You know, does it feel like there's a compression or a tension through your middle? Or can you feel the expansion of the midline? Moving breath, using breath as a conduit here, and we'll root into the left elbow to open up the right side even more. Oh, yes. So good here. Lift your chin, take a deep breath in and stretch. Release very slowly. Oh, yay. Come out gently. Hip openers, bring your right foot behind you. They're good, but they're also intense, right? Knees together. Okay, so take a moment here. Walk your hands forward. Circle out your hips again, side to side, front to back. Oh, feels better once we've done both hips, doesn't it? Switch directions. Widening the inner thighs apart, working into the outer hip. And then take your time. We're going to lower down, point the toes, come onto your elbows. Rest for a few moments here in Cobra. Let's interlock the palms. Finding the forearms, so the platform of the elbows and the wrists anchored fully. And then rotate the inner thighs just slightly so you feel a broadening across the back of the sacrum. And then let's push from the navel down into our roots. So the belly, the pelvis, the hips, and the legs root down. And we're going to slowly curl the chin in, press into the shins, and then hug the front ribs in, the belly strong, little core work here. Keeping the neck nice and long, the chin lifted, and then lower down very gently. Take a rest, take a breath. Feels good. We'll do 3 of these. Core body strengthening. You know, super nice thing to really just feel that connection of the front body supporting the spine. If you want, you can lift your knees, straight legs, belly strong, tailbone nice and long. And you know, this strengthens the arms, strengthens the core, and strengthens the legs. Such a good posture for our posture, a posture for our posture. Breathe here. Stretch out your neck. And we'll do one more. Maybe your third set, just coming into that place that you can sustain a little longer. So we build stamina and strength by holding the postures a little bit longer. Come down very gently and take a rest. So crossing palms, forehead to your hands, breathe deeply. Hmm. Deep sigh, in through the nose, out through the mouth. So let's take left hand straight out to the left side, perpendicular to the body, and then right fingertips to the right side. And we're going to roll onto the left arm. As your body rolls here, just notice your left side is pressing down into the mat. Maybe if this right foot, if the knee bends and it feels okay, maybe right foot behind the knee. And just test it out. You can rest your head on the ground or lift your head and take it back. There's a deep stretch to the front of the left pectoralis, the left chest. Stay here, or if you want a little more, right arm can reach to the sky. If that's too much, just keeping your right hand grounded. Take your head back and a nice deep and complete breath. Roll slowly back onto your belly. Take it easy here as we switch sides. Rest for a breath or two, and then right arm out to the right side. Left fingertips will roll, log roll to the right. And you keep that top leg straight, totally fine. One of the things I work on here is pressing the right side of my body down. So it's the right ankle, the outer right knee, the outer right hip. And this creates a little space in the midline for this twist. As you touch the floor and you feel a little more stable, maybe left arm to the sky, or maybe not, right? Finding stability over ego, right? So just keeping in mind that it's not how far we go, but how we go far. These very small and gradual steps in our process are much more important than how the posture looks. Okay, back to our bellies. Let's take hands back by the waistline. Palms wide. We're going to pull the heart forward, upward dog. Stretch your belly. Press down through the tops of your feet. Pull your hands back towards your knees and lift your chin. Option to use your knees for transition or curl your toes. Press up and back. And we'll take it downward facing dog. Ooh. Walk your dog just a little bit side to side. Open your palms wide and then step your feet right to the edge of your mat. So let's inhale in down dog and then bend your knees as you exhale. Sink your hips low, sort of like a little frog hop here. So inhale to straighten. And then exhale, rooting the hips back, lengthen the spine. One more time like that. Inhale as you come up. And exhale gently into your squat pose. Doesn't matter how far you go with this one. Just feel for yourself your natural limit. Okay. Walk your feet forward. Ooh. Let's take a forward fold today, feet hips distance apart, or slightly wider if you need it. Pinky toe edge parallel with the long edge of the mat. You can bend your knees if your hamstrings are tight. We'll reach around right hand to left wrist. Give yourself a little hug here. Relax gently. Let your head go. And then straighten your arms slightly until you feel that gentle hugging the midline. And then we'll resist by widening the knees apart. What this does is this creates space in the midline. Tailbone draws down, belly lifts strong. And if you've got it, a little shift into the big toes, maybe sliding the arms a little lower as you deepen. Be gentle with yourself here. No stress, just finding that place that you can breathe. Let's take a deep inhale. And exhale, good release. Bend your knees, take your hands to your thighs. Press your chest away, look forward and rise. And we'll come all the way up and stand. Oh, it's a warm day in here today. I don't know about you guys, but I feel the heat as I come up today. Okay, take a moment, feet hips distance apart. We're going to do this little balancing action. So leaning into your big toes, hands are here to support. And we're just going to lean forward, testing out the front plane. And just brush up against your edge, keep your heels on the ground, and then lean back. Same thing, finding your back body. That point where you almost need to correct, right? Feel it as you come forward. Getting our balance really, really set. You know, these are our boundaries, our spots that we kind of use to gauge where we are in space. Back to the toes. And then let's try it one more time, this time with the eyes closed. And this is kind of a funny feeling. Just notice with eyes closed what it feels like to come into these ones. And forward. All right, and then center, hands to your hips. Take some gentle rotations for the hips. Feel the weight shifting from foot to foot, front to back. Maybe brushing up against that edge that we just defined. And switch directions. All right, standing on the left foot, lift and spread your left toes. We're gonna lift the right foot just slightly up off the floor, flex your toes, and then pull the leg up into the body. This is a funny instruction. You wanna feel that this extended leg, the right leg, is actually moving up and in. So this is all our hip flexors, hugging the leg in, and then we'll take right foot to the side. Now your arms are there to support. So we're gonna take the leg, hug it up, hug it in, and then lift it a little higher. Whoop. Good, one more time. Hug the leg in, toes are flexed, lift a little higher. Whoop. When you're ready, lower the right foot down and let's try that on the other side. And this is a variation of Vrksasana, tree pose. Hugging that left leg up and in, and then bring it out. Pull it up, pull it in, and bring it wide. Finding that nice outer hip strength, you know, hips today. A little intensity sometimes as you meet your edge. Take a deep breath and then release and come back to neutral. Okay, back to our little swivels. We did it. Hip work, never easy, always a little bit of a challenge to come across limitations through the hips. So we'll finish today coming down onto our backs. So just make your way down. If you have a block handy, we're going to use a block for this next one. So if you don't have a block, you'll have to just do your best in this one without a block. But if you do have one, we're going to put it between the feet and give it a squeeze. Okay. I like these because they really train you to use your core. So we're going to reach forward, touch the toes, take a gentle forward fold. And then as you come up, we're going to slowly lower down, squeeze the block, tuck your tail. And as you come down, we're going to lift the block up off the floor. I know, it's kind of crazy. Okay, once you've got the block up, we're going to lower it back down again. Now, the block, for whatever reason, even if it's a light block, it starts to weigh a ton in these poses. Okay, so really hug the midline. Take your arms overhead, a deep breath in, and then a little chop to come up. Okay, touch your toes. We're going to do two more like that. Slowly coming down, squeeze the block as you lower. Palms alongside the hips and then lifting the block up overhead. And back down again, using your hands like brakes. And then let's inhale, arms overhead. Exhale if you need a little momentum. Take your momentum. We've got one more. Forward fold, deep stretch, and then gradually squeeze the block, hug the midline. If you don't have a block, you just have to hug your legs towards each other for this one. Legs up overhead. And we'll finish here, just lowering the legs as slow as you can go. Lots of hard work in this one. Great one to practice. Okay, once you're down, bend your knees. Take a moment to release that pose, adjust your spine. And then we'll take the legs just gently up over the hips. So feet together, hands facing down. And we're going to widen the legs apart. And then bring them back together. Now these ones, I like to do them with toes pointed. Just come to a place that feels natural for you, right? Doesn't have to be really wide, just really working to strengthen. When we come together this time, we'll take right leg over the left and then switching sides. Left leg over right. Now you can stay here just working these zigzags back and forth. Or if you want a little more, we're going to zigzag down toward the floor. So belly is strong, front ribs pulled in, zigzagging down, just drawing those little side to sides, maybe imagining that your toe is drawing on the ground or drawing on the wall. And you don't have to come really low, just come to a place that you can sustain. And then we're going to zigzag back up, wide and across. Use your breath. Strengthening the core, strengthening the legs, strengthening our stamina. And then we'll finish feet together, bending the knees and giving them a full squeeze. Rock your spine. Whew. Good effort there as you pull your knees into chest, roll your tailbone down, so much so that your low back might even lift. And we'll finish our practice with a twist. So right knee to chest, left leg long. Give your knee a full squeeze, hug it into your right armpit. Breathe. This one is a great one to hug the midline. So can you hug your left leg to center? And then let's twist over to the right. Right palm comes wide. This is the opposite twist of the one we did on our belly. Press your left leg down into the ground to widen the midline. Always so helpful in twist to have a wider midline and a tiny arc in the low back. Deep breath here. And then exhale to center. Both feet flat. Shift your hips to realign the spine and then left knee to chest. And give it a squeeze. Right leg extends long and flat on the floor. And even just knee to chest pose has so many benefits for our digestion, for our digestive function. Bring circulation to the root, to the hips. Hug the midline with the extended leg and then gently twist. Once you're in your twist, widen the midline, right hip roots down. And in this way, we have this kind of understanding of spanda. Spanda is the pulsation of the life force. And much like the balancing breath, it expands and contracts when it is needed. So just noticing, what feels better for you here, hugging in or widening out. Much like the inhalation and the exhalation, both are used to create space. Okay, back to center. Place your feet, shift your hips, and then straighten out both legs. Take a moment and pause, palms face up toward the sky. Eyes gently closed. A little space between the teeth and the tip of your tongue resting on the upper palate. A few moments here just to become still and soft and aware. Notice the breath in the body. So if you're ready to move back into your day, just take some small movements, rock your head from side to side, circle your wrists and ankles. Stretch long through your whole body. Take a deep breath in. And then roll to your right side. Bring your knees in, taking fetal pose. Use your arm as a pillow and rest gently here. And use your left hand to support. Come up to your seat. And we'll close just very briefly in seated meditation here before we come back into our day. The spine upright, the heart open, and just noticing the effects of this energetic practice. So yoga affects many levels, so not just the physical level, but we access the deep emotional, physical, mental levels of our bodies. And truly practicing holistically guides us to a place of deeper awareness, particularly of the present moment. And a nice deep breath, relaxing completely. And close today with the hands together, warming the palms. And then placing your hands over your eyes, sealing out the light. Gradually wash through the face. Bring your hands together, open your eyes. And back grounded into your day.